Welcome back to Survival on Purpose. My name's Brian. Thanks for joining me. This video is going to be a little different. I'm kind of starting to do a few different little shorter videos about some different things. And this is going to be about a belt. Yep, this is a gun belt slash survival belt from the folks at Daltech Force. They contacted me and wanted to know if I'd be interested in checking out their belts. That they said their original purpose is for a gun belt, but they think they would be a really good survival belt because of some of the features they have. So I took a look at their website and I was pretty intrigued. I had to be honest with you, I think they would be a great survival belt too, in that, you know, you carry heavy equipment with them, you carry heavy belts, hatchets, or whatever. They're just pretty much indestructible and they last a long, long time. They were kind enough to send me not one but two, a black one and a brown one. I'll show you the brown one in a minute because I have it on. Before I do that, I thought we'd take a look at this black one and let me tell you a little bit about the specs of this thing and what I think makes it so cool and so useful for those of us who spend a lot of time in the outdoors. Or possibly those of us who might sometimes feel the need to carry a weapon upon their person. I'm going to pull my notes out so I can read them while we're talking about this. First of all, it's got the buckles on it, have a roller buckle. This is a stainless one and it's a really good buckle. And the brass one, the brown belts have a brass buckle with a roller, same thing on it. They are fastened in place with Chicago screws, which are cool. So they're not snaps. They're actually, you know, you can put a different buckle on it if you want to. You can, or you can replace this one if you need be. And what I think, one thing that's really cool, by the way, speaking of Chicago screws, they give you an extra pack of screws. Not only do they give you an extra pack of screws, they're smart enough to send the stainless screws or the chrome, the silver colored screws anyway, with the black belt with the silver stainless buckle, and the brass screws with the brown belt with the brass buckle. So, you know, somebody's checking what they're doing before it goes out the door anyway, which I think is always a plus. Another thing that's really cool about this, I'm gonna try to get you to see this. Hopefully you can see that. See what it says at the bottom? It is made in the USA. So these are synthetic belts. They're oil, water, and chemical resistant. They're calling this the indestructible Superbio. It's a good looking belt. I mean, it doesn't look like plastic. It looks like leather, to be honest with you. Okay, let's go to the specs here and talk about it for a minute. The belt here is made of a thermopolymer polyurethane leather-like textured material with an integrated polyester webbing on the inside of it. So this thing is reinforced on the inside with a polyester webbing. It is durable, waterproof, easy to clean, and stronger than natural leather. It has a 6,000 PSI high tensile strength, but it stays flexible in all temperatures. 6,000 PSI, that's pretty strong. It won't absorb water, oil, or chemicals and other harsh environments. It is inherently resistant to salt water, sweat, stress cracking, hydrolysis, and attack of fungi. We all know how annoying that can be, right? You don't want fungi on your belt for sure. Seriously, it's been tested and used by NASA and the US government for military and space applications. Typically this one's 1.5 inches wide and it is about 5/32 of an inch thick. Clean it with soap and water. It's got 9 holes on a 3/4 inch spacing, which I like. They're pretty close together to allow you a lot of adjustments. So, okay, that's all the specs. Let's put that down. Let's talk real world here. Primarily this is a gun belt. If you have ever carried a weapon, concealed or otherwise, and you haven't used a gun belt, man, you are missing out, I promise you, because it makes a gigantic difference. I have got one I have been wearing for a week now, the brown one. I'm going to show you that in just a minute. And I wanted to wear this thing. I told them I would be happy to do a review, but I want to check it out and make sure it really fit my criteria for something I'll review and something I'll recommend. Because sometimes, let's just say it this way. I know a guy who carries a pistol sometimes, a lot of times, most of the time. And this guy I know used to not have a gun belt, and his pants kept sagging down and driving down, and his pistol kept poking out and printing. And then this guy bought a gun belt, and it made a huge difference. He didn't buy one of these, he bought a different brand, and it works really well. It made a huge difference. So let's just say I asked this guy to try out the brown one for a week and see how well it compared to the one he was wearing, which was a Bianchi, I think, or DeSantis, one of the two, and to see if he could tell any improvement or you know, anything wrong or whatever. And well, according to what this guy said, it works great. He can't find anything, you know, that is a negative compared to the other gun belt that this guy is wearing, used to wearing. And maybe there are a couple of positives simply because of the, not maybe, there are definitely, in my opinion anyway, according to what this guy told me, there are a lot of positives because of the cleanability, the imperviousness to all sorts of things, and the just the fact this thing is pretty much lasts forever. So this guy let me borrow his gun and his belt to check out, so I want to show it to you. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, pasty white guy alert. Okay, so first of all, you can see that it rides pretty well right here. I mean, it's pretty sturdy. It holds up pretty well. Okay, I'm going to back up here just so you can see that there's and the reason I'm doing that is because I'm just holding this thing naturally, and what happens sometimes is you get a big sag wherever your pistol's hanging or whatever other heavy thing you're hanging, like a big knife or whatever. This actually stays pretty straight. And the other thing I want to show you is these buck holes. Now, the other belt I have, actually that this guy has, sorry, these holes are about 1 inch apart. So I think that 3/4 of an inch spacing is a lot more handy because it really does give you a little more adjustment. This guy actually had to drill some more holes between the ones that were in his original belt so he could have the proper adjustment. So I think they solved that problem right here, right out of the box. You don't have to do anything with it. So anyway, that's about it. It's a belt, not a whole lot to be said about it. I think, you know, even if you don't carry a firearm like this guy I know does, I think this could be really handy just for, look, most of us wear a belt. If you're not really absolutely stuck on being a super traditionalist, I mean, it looks like leather. It's a nice looking belt, and it has the advantage of 6,000 pounds of tensile strength, and it's resistant to pretty much, you know, all sorts of stuff that would eat through a leather belt and mess a leather belt up in a hurry. You know, you get it wet, it's not going to hurt it, it's not going to shrink, it's not going to crack, it's not going to do anything wrong. I just think it's it's just a great belt. And by the way, if you want to order one of these, they recommend you take whatever your waist size is and give it 2 extra inches, if you're going to, especially for inside the waistband carry. And so, and that's what I did. This thing fits perfectly. And I honestly think if it didn't, if it was just, well, I can't stand a belt that's really too long, just hangs out there. If it turns out to be too long, I'm pretty sure you could cut this off and just fuse it. I mean, it's a plastic material, so that's all they did. Obviously, they just cut it off and fused it on both ends. So again, anyway, I'll quit rambling. This is a belt. I don't want to make it take forever. But this is the BioBelt, Superbio Belt, made in the USA. And I have to say, I give this one really, truly a high recommendation. The guy that I know that's been wearing this for a week says he loves it. He's going to keep wearing this instead of his other belt because this one just seems to be more comfortable and seems to be a little stiffer, to be honest with you. You know, it's not uncomfortably stiff, but it's got enough lateral, you know, it bends fine this way, but this way it stays and it doesn't sag. And that's really important if you're for a concealed carry belt or for any other kind of belt, really. So if you need a good belt for a gun, and I'm serious about this, if you do carry a weapon, carry a firearm, concealed or otherwise, and you've never tried a gun belt, you're just using a regular belt, man, you owe it to yourself. I'm telling you, the guy I know told me there's a gigantic difference in comfort and carry and concealment. So if you're looking for a really nice belt to wear outdoors or to wear wherever, carrying whatever you want to carry it with, I think this is a great belt all around, whether you're carrying weapons, whether you're carrying knives, or whether you just need to keep your britches up. I hope this has been helpful. As always, thanks for watching Survival on Purpose. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for clicking that thumbs up, that little like button down there. Thanks for sharing it with your friends, watching those ads, and for doing your Amazon shopping through my links. I really appreciate it. Once again, my name is Brian. You're watching Survival on Purpose. Remember, survival's not an accident, so be prepared. See you next time.